buddy, look what we got here. Some more hard enduro for y'all. Hey everyone, welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. And this is day 2. We're out in Jawbone, and our mission today is to summit Cross Mountain Peak. I haven't done Cross Mountain before, so I'm trying to pick a new trail I haven't been on. I found this one, and it's a beast right off the start. I mean, we've gotten 100 feet, and it has got very technical really quick. You can see the struggle I'm in already. So it is the goat trail from hell. This one, it winds up, it's got to go through this little canyon. You see the rock walls ahead of us, and it keeps climbing, and gets to a point where you got to get up that vertical rock bluff, and it's damn near impossible. I mean, the trail goes through there. We ended up having to turn around. We needed a gummy. I think if we had our gummy tires, I'd be a lot more confident going up, and maybe a third person so we could have 2 spotters on each side. But it was nasty. Here's a nice vertical climb here through the rocks. You just gotta kind of just give it the gas, send it up. Makes it look real easy there, but that was a very steep little vertical rock climb. And I just guess here comes Kyle. He backs off the throttle a little bit and doesn't make it. There is a very big drop off to the right there.
What do you want to do?
So it kind of gets in your head. You can see, yeah, you can see that. If you were to loop it out there, your bike's going down pretty good right there.
And I'll pull.
Now, even though we had to turn around here, I mean, we didn't get very far. But I just want to show you guys what Jawbone, what is out here. This is right off the road. I mean, we're like 200 yards off the road through Jawbone, and we're already through, into some very technical, high-level trail riding here. And they do have some easier stuff. They have mid stuff. It's a great riding area. Jawbone can hit any level you want to take it to. Jawbone will do it for you.
Boy, this is donkey trail right here.
Donkey trail. Kyle calls them donkey trails. I'll call them goat trails, but he's from, originally he was born in Bullhead, Arizona, and they got wild donkeys out there running around the desert. So, and all the trails he grew up with, called them all donkey trails. There's a little rock ledge, very sketchy. GoPro doesn't quite show how big the drop-offs are to the left. You just got this rock
kind of traction I can get.
Outcrop, and you got to really blast it up there. You have to come in with some speed, but because of the big drop-off, you don't want to risk tipping the bike over, falling down there. So then you kind of limit your danger by going a lot slower.
Step over that.
So I decided, man, this trail's it's getting tough, and I see this climb up ahead. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a little recon and see if we can even get up here, because this is looking bad.
Is there a chicken way? Let me see.
Yeah, this is so vertical here.
You get it up to here.
Now there is some tracks, so someone's done it.
Up there. This would be damn tricky. This, I don't know if you have good grip here. This might be too slippery for our tires.
Yeah, for this type of stuff,
I'm slipping on my boots.
We need a gummy tire, and we don't have our gummy tires on, so I don't feel comfortable doing this.
All right, let's just turn around.
It's gonna be such a struggle.
But our skill level,
we have even gone. We're 5 minutes into the ride, and we're gonna kill ourselves right here. So we call it a knockoff point. We don't have the right tires, and it's just too early in the riding day to have to mess with this. So we're gonna backtrack. I just want to show this. It was a really hard trail. This is on the list now. I want to do this one.
Yeah.
Come back with the right gear, and then I'll tackle that one. Getting turned around on this trail was tricky.
What'd you do? I missed it.
Yeah, he flipped his bike. He just flipped his bike over. He didn't even try turning it. He just flipped it and it ended up the right direction. I get back and I'm doing this little right pivot turns. My rear tire is right on the edge of the trail, so I can't roll back. So I'm just taking little bites, little pivots, and I finally give up, get off the bike. I'm like, I can't risk doing a backflip right now. I'm going to be backflipping down the side of the hill. So I do the
that works.
put my knee on the radiator shroud there, and I just pivot the front end over that way.
I'm glad I didn't go back farther there.
Yeah, if I would have rolled back there,
in a big hole.
I'm doing a backflip all the way down that slope right there.
Yeah, just take that one.
All right, as we're going back, instead of going the route we just took up, we take this little bypass here. And it was real muddy. It's like slick clay mud right here.
That is. Oh, that's clay mud. Slick.
So, we thought this would be a little easier, but the mud just made it tricky. It was slick. It was like no traction. The tires are just slipping and sliding around here.
Yeah. Maybe. Woo.
All right, so we move down the road. We get down, we move down the road. We're trying this route. There's some fresh tracks here. And it starts off pretty easy, almost a double wide here. And then it does go to a single, then it'll go back to double. This comes up the back way of where me, Jace, and Case went up that real narrow ridge line that was real steep, really chunky rocks. So we're gonna hit that again. On the way up here, we run into some people. Like, we saw some fresh tracks, so I know there's some riders ahead of us. And I see a gear bag, a little tool bag, and some other supplies just on the trail here. So we pull over, grab them, and I was thinking, well, put them in the back, catch up, and give them to the people, but they might take a different route. So we decided to lay it on the side of the road, and then some other riders come down, and they tell us there's another group that's going up. So we know it wasn't the people. Anyways, we put all their tools on the side of the trail.
Someone lost some tools back there. What was that?
Yeah, so there's where I start seeing it.
No, they're right behind your back tire.
Here's another piece here.
More shit lost. You got stuff here?
So there's a group here. They come down. So we get all their gear kind of laid out so it's easy to see.
He'll be coming back for that for sure.
Yeah.
So we left it there, and now I'm like, all right, we got to catch these guys to let them know.
I didn't want to carry it anymore.
Yeah, the tools are really heavy. I'm like, I'm glad we set them there, because that's another 10 pounds I got to carry in my back. And anyway, so we got to catch these guys, and I figured they're going to be turning around. Sooner or later, you're going to figure you don't have your gear, and they're going to backtrack to see where it is. So I'm glad we left it out there. If you guys find gear on the trail, just set it aside, and hopefully that person comes back and gets it.
No way anyone.
Look at that run up there. This is what I'm saying. You're going through and you just see crazy runs. I don't know if there would have been a little goat trail up there, but we're sticking here because we got to find these guys that lost their gear.
Deeper than I thought.
This backside through this little canyon here is just really rocky, really rough. And my suspension, what it was, my suspension felt a little rough, and my fork guard was pressing hard against the fork there, causing it just a little bit of friction. So I can feel it wasn't smooth, and going over these little rocky bumps, my bike just felt extra jerky or extra stiff. All these little dips. Dips and rocks slowing me down. Come on, let's go. Get up to speed here, Trixie. just getting all this, a little extra feedback through the handlebars from that shock, the guard, really rubbing on the fork there, the outer tube. So if you guys recognize this, to the left was that big saddle where we met those older gentlemen, and then we rode down here with Jason Case. We came up here, and then we turned left right here, and now we're gonna head down, and those guys are right on the other side there. Now you can't tell, they're right in front of us up on that little ridge line there. Now this little creek here has a trail that goes up the creek. It's another one. I mean, there's so many trails. Spend some more time out in Jawbone and really start exploring a lot of these secret little trails they have out here.
Got a nasty little climb.
But we're gonna be turning right, but we could continue up that creek and just see how it gets. Kyle's right on my butt. He yells at me because I'm slowing him down. Oh, that's another thing. So we have our pack talks on. Yesterday up to Chuckwalla, it wasn't working, and today it's working. So we're talking to each other through our communication cardo pack talk, and it is so nice. Let me tell you, here's the guy that lost his gear. So I'm glad that we set it aside and organized it for him.
You got it in front of the tool bag?
Yeah, it's down there.
Okay.
We've set everything on the side of the trail.
How far back?
A little ways, kind of towards where you first started climbing.
All right, he had about 2 miles to go back, find his gear. We're keep moving up. He had a big group of friends up here. They're all gonna wait for him. And so I see they're watching us, and I'm like, all right, you gotta be on your A game here. You gotta look good, George. Don't mess up, because I know they're watching you. Pressure's on when you got an audience and you gotta perform. There's that little tight turn, but it made it through pretty good. Get a little hung up right there, but not bad. And of course I get hung up when I'm right next to them. Make it good, make it up clean, through all the hard stuff, and then right up next to them. That's when I get hung up. Anyway, so they're gonna wait there for their buddy to come back with their gear, and then they're gonna come tackle us. They asked me what is over here, and I told them there's the hard way, which is up this peak to the left here. And then there's another route right. Well, I felt bad because we went right in this other trail route, and it didn't go nowhere. And so the only way was to go up this hard peak, which is that bad one that Case and Jace and I went up, and we had to help each other up it. Tell you what, it's so much nicer having the pack talks. I can't stress enough. When you're riding with your buddy, the flow, the ride it just goes so much smoother, so much easier. You don't have to stop at each little hill climb, or you're just talking on the fly. It helps out the ride so much. So we went down right there and looked all around. We couldn't find a path that went down. There could have been one and we missed it, but I'm not going to spend all day doing that. So we started going up. So here's my first try going up this. I hit this about a month ago, so this is now doing it again. I do much better this time. I brought in a lot more speed right in the beginning, and I was able to keep that momentum going. Now here speed's gone, and this is just feathering the clutch, tractoring the bike up, trying to prevent any wheel spin. You get that wheel spin, you dig a hole, and then you're stuck. And right up here is it's a hard little rock section. It's real chunky right up here, and without any momentum, you just can't send the bike up here. So what I did last time is I do a little right pivot, bring the back end up, and then cross over. And I'm going to do that this time, and I do it much better than last time. Last time I did the right pivot, came up, and I dumped the bike again. This time
There's a big rock right in the middle here.
I don't do that. Just do the pivot, pull the back end up, and able to get through. Saved a lot of energy compared to how I did it last time. There you go. Got the front end up, and then I just cross over the bike and pull the back end up and over. I know the bike's heavy. It's a 450. I wear a deadlift belt. It's not a thick 4-inch deadlift. It's the 2-inch deadlift belt. I like wearing that just for this scenario where you got to deadlift, pick up the bike, and that belt just adds a little bit extra support.
Yeah, I'm up.
Plus, your beer belly helps hold your beer belly in. You know, it keeps your belly from jiggling all around.
Well, I gotta get out of there.
Then it protects your kidneys too. It's a win-win. I haven't seen anyone wear a deadlift belt. I'm the only person I've ever seen that rides with a deadlift belt. I'm gonna create my own hardcore enduro deadlift belt. It's gonna be badass. Maybe something like a Batman. It'll be a deadlift belt, and it'll have little pouches on it. You can put little goodies on it. Right on, made it to the top there. Now I'm walking back down, trying to catch Kyle coming up. This is second attempt. It's a really steep one, and the rocks give way. You really got to have a lot of speed and try to carry you as far up the side as you can. Typical hill climb, you always need more speed. But the rocks just make it so hard. You're just bouncing along on that beginning, just bouncing all over the place. So Kyle asked me if I can ride it on up from here, so I'll give it a go. I don't have a lot of time on his bike, you know, coming from the 4-stroke, jumping into the 2-stroke. Just thinking about feathering the clutch, keeping that back tire from just spinning out, you know, just keeping a nice steady roll, and that really helps out a lot. 300, it really lugs real low, you know. Of course, I'm used to my bike lugging low too, but it has a completely different feel for sure. But still making progress here, so that was good.
So that I'm just barely using my feet.
Yeah, I'm keeping got my weight all the way back, kind of sitting over that fender, and I'm just dabbing left and right just to keep balance. I'm not actually pushing with my feet at all. It's just to keep my balance here. Alright, getting that face full of handlebar right there. We made it up, and then we crossed over to the base of Chuckwalla. And we already had that in the last video, so I didn't want to redo that all. But now we're on new terrain. Cross mountains out to our right there. And Kyle, he does a lot of, or he's done downhill mountain biking in Colorado. So the downhills, he does a lot better than me. He's able to let the bike roll. I know he doesn't have all the engine braking. The 450 really has a lot of engine braking, so the 2-strokes, they can kind of just glide down much easier, whereas the 4-strokes always has that engine braking. These long downhill, your triceps, they get worked out, and it's soft and sandy. Trying to keep that back in straight, not in swapping.
Yeah, that's a big rut. Damn.
There's a big rut to the left there from the recent rains, and they just kind of side hill in here across these ruts. Still pretty steep.
Cactus. Where'd this line come from? Woo!
Right here crossing the creek in that rut. It's got a little dip right there. Water's running in the creek. I gotta practice doing dips. When you come to a dip, I've seen like Jarvis, he can come to a dip and he doesn't actually go down in the dip. He'll pop a little wheelie, and only the rear tire goes through the dip. So I need to put that on my bucket list of practice, dip practice, getting through a dip without having to slam that front end down there, being able to pop that wheelie up. Coughing right now. I don't know what I inhaled, but it's make me have a little cough attack. I like this back country terrain here. We go through a couple of creeks, and just riding through the creek beds with all the rocks is kind of fun. And then we'll head over, cross over to Cross Mountain.
Oh no.
Here comes another big dip. You see Kyle go through. He goes through pretty quick, pretty clean. Little dab there, but some of these dips are really extreme, and I'd like to be able to just wheelie up, pop that front tire over, and just have the back carry me through. I think it'd be faster. I've seen Jarvis do it, and he seems to know what he's doing. Big old ruts. This is where the fatty, I think, doesn't do as good because it grabs the side of the ruts, where a skinnier tire would track a lot better.
Go right.
I'm gonna look into getting some skinnier tires. I've been running the fatty a long time, and I've always noticed a problem going through ruts. So I'm gonna try a skinnier one.
Nice.
So we drop down into the little creek bed here, and just some sandy washes. Nothing technical or hard, but it's fun going through the creek beds. You know, got a lot of bouldery rocks, so you just got to be up on the pegs, let your suspension do its thing, and keep your balance. Alright, coming up here. Notice Kyle's, we're all both standing. We're standing on the pegs is so valuable. See, watch, he'll get kicked out to the right here. Bam, you get kicked out. And if you're sitting, when you get kicked out, your body can't adjust, and you would have got thrown. Whereas when you're standing, the bike moves underneath you. The bike can move, but your center of mass of your body keeps you upright. So just point that out, how valuable standing up on your pegs can be. Now you gotta pick, you know, sometimes you need to keep that weight in the rear tire so you get more traction, or you need to conserve energy, so you need to sit down. It's not just stand all the time because you stand all the time. You know, you gotta pick when to do each, I think. A couple low branches here. Didn't hit my head. I usually hit my head on low branches, but didn't do it. There, right here is a Chuckwalla. See that Chuckwalla just ran across right in front of me.
I think I just saw Chuckwalla. Yeah, some lizard, just big lizard right across. Yeah, he's all fat. I think we're following this for a while.
Alright, we're getting close to the base now. We're gonna cut right. We're gonna climb up across the creek, then we're gonna cut right and across mountains on the right hand side right now. But just following the trail up there. Nothing hard. There's really fast flowy stuff through here.
Somehow go right, get off this.
A couple of those ruts, though, you gotta watch out when you do it. You know, the rain and everything, you can make a big ass rut there, and if you're daydreaming, looking around left and right, those ruts can catch you. I remember when I was young, I caught a rut really bad. I was on my old YZ250, and I was looking around, and my front bars just went down in this rut, and I flipped over the bars, done for the day riding. So even though the trail eased up, you gotta pay attention. It's a nice little hill climb here. It gets pretty steep. Kyle, he took the right lane, and then I stayed in the left, and I lost a little bit of speed there, and I lost that speed. I'm starting to dig in. I'm like, come on, Trixie, what are you doing? Get up this hill. Struggling a little bit right there. Come on.
I took the left rut.
Yeah, you can see across to the right there. It's got this really big open face, and there's just so many lines that have gone up it and been, you know, washed out. Right here, you can go far right, middle, and they all look kind of bad.
Nasty ruts up there.
They're very rutted out.
Far left.
Far left.
What's on that way left?
Yeah, way left.
It's the way left. We went way left. The best way is the way left. Way left way. So Kyle, he's ahead of me, and kind of going up this run. At very ready, got to cross back over, and all these, you got to just pick a nice line. I'm gonna cross back over that little rut. All right, it's kind of clean. Build up the speed again. Right past this tree, there's a little rock face you got to climb up. Kyle went left, didn't make it, so he's telling me now where to go. Yeah, it's the perk of going last or going second. You get to see where the first guy messed up. Get held up right here a little bit. Just need to bump the bike up. And then it is a steep climb off to the right. And once you get up here, it's really not a running start. And it's just up. And it's all decomposed granite here.
This part's no mercy here.
And you still get pretty good traction though. So I had my doubts, like crap, maybe we need to go down and get a second attempt at this. But we're able to just go from a dead stop and just tractor the bike right up the hill.
Yeah, straighten up your bike. This
There we go. So just straight up, just from right there. Start out in first gear and just forward on the bike, and it got traction. Both his and mine. We just tractored right up this thing. That is actually pretty easy. I mean, you compare this to Chuckwalla. Chuckwalla was like no mercy from the get-go. This is much easier. Yeah, get some speed up. That's what I'm talking about. We're off to the races. Who can get to the top of the first? So I'm up on my pegs. We're going for it. And right here, you can see my handlebars get kicked out right there. It wasn't much, but it felt like a lot. And luckily I didn't go over. But that's the benefit of being up on your pegs. You can take those hits and your weight keeps you centered.
that's a rock.
Now it gets a little rocky up here. Nothing like how Chuckwalla was, but enough to make you think about your riding, where you're gonna pick your line.
Oh shit.
So Kyle, he went left. I'm coming right. See a little line there. And then I gotta do a left pivot. So what I do is I come up as far as I can, get that rear tire up, and then I'll left pivot and get on the easier line. So I got my left pivot there. Now I'm coming on up.
Come on, baby.
That trick works. I use it quite often now, of overshooting the turn and then pivoting back onto the trail. Yeah, back up the hill. So we're almost to the top. It gets a little bit rockier through here, but you just keep your balance, pick your good line, and piece of cake. I like Cross Mountain. That was fun. If I had to do this again, I'm gonna do Cross Mountain first, and then do Chuckwalla second. Make that kind of loop. That we're doing the easier peak as a warm-up before you hit the hard peak, or just doing one day and one the other day like we did. It seemed to work out pretty good too, because Chuckwalla is a beast. Anyways, there's the top. Look at him stealing my signature pose right there. I do it in all my pictures I send to my wife. You gotta have your own signature pose, you know. That's mine. Kyle tried stealing mine. I was like, hell no, you gotta get your own. So he's started a new trend. I think he stands on his handlebars. I thought it was brilliant. So we'll see that in the thumbnail pic. Anyway, guys, I gotta bring this video to a close. That's Cross Mountain Peak. So we did Chuckwalla and Cross Mountain this weekend, and updating just on. I'm editing. This is a Friday, the day before Grinding Stone, and I'm not going to be able to do Grinding Stone because I injured myself last weekend. I wrecked. I fell backwards, kind of hill face. It fell right on my tailbone, and it cracked it or something. It's been hard to walk the last couple days. It's just getting to a point where I can now stand up on my own, but
it does feel different.
it was a bad fall. It's taken me out of the race, so I'm really bummed because I've been training to ride this hard enduro and grinding stone, and it just bummed I'm not gonna be able to go and do it. I love racing. I love the hard enduro, and you know, I got after this I got a hare and hound coming out. I'm gonna do a SoCal hare and hound, and then I don't know if I'll pick one, but Donner's the next big one I want to do. So until then, get out, ride, and get some.